Welcome back into the Talk and Chatter experience powered by Gasoline Alley Harley-Davidson. Today's show is a little bit of a different sort of show to what we normally do for our normal listeners. Today I'm sitting down with Troy Guenther and Tristan Vercoe from the Motorcycle Sportsmen of Queensland, and we're going to discuss basically road racing in Queensland via the Motorcycle Sportsmen. It's part of a 4-part series that we'll be doing throughout the year, so I hope you enjoy it and get to meet some of the different characters throughout the year that are involved in road racing in Queensland.
Welcome to the Southern Downs Sit Down.
Here we are again, boys. What have we been? That's pretty good. Actually, probably MVP because the sorry lads, but that's pretty solid.
Yeah, very passionate.
See?
Yeah. He's from the States. It's not fair.
Oh, really?
It just comes naturally.
We got Captain Obvious sitting to the left. And all right, what are we doing today? We're obviously here for Sundown Sit Down. We've just had a round 2 weekends ago, Morgan Park. Let's start. Who wants to start talking today?
Oh.
Should we get Steve?
Let's get our guest to
all right.
kick us off.
It's Steve,
Coach
isn't it?
Steve.
Yeah.
Let's get Steve in.
Shit. We had a great weekend. I race in Formula 2, and we need to get that a little closer. I'm sorry. And we had one race the first day because of this guy.
We'll explain that shortly.
Before
diving into that.
we can get
That come out real quick.
So we had one race the first day, and it was dry. It was good. I honestly I wasn't totally on the game the first day out. Just not the right headspace, but still a lot of fun. I didn't qualify so strongly, so I was 7th. So that was first position, third row. But yeah, I finished the first race in 5th, and then the second day we did one more dry race, much better, and then the two after were wet. It's the first time I've ever raced in the rain, so that was really interesting. So I got to kind of experiment and experience what proper racing rain tires can do, which is really impressive.
I think we've been pretty blessed the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, what's that, 2019, 2020, 2021, even in amongst COVID, like, it's been dry.
Yeah.
Like, it has been dry.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, it was, the first race was proper wet. Like, we actually went out for the sighting lap on slicks, and they red flagged it when we got, like, halfway around because it started to rain.
Yeah.
So, and we came back in, and everyone swapped tires over and went out and got to deal with the rooster sprays coming off the tires, and that was my first podium in Formula 2 as well. So third place. Yeah.
Yowza.
Yeah. It was fun. So
There's actually still some pretty good racing too.
it was
In the
really
wet.
good. Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
You've obviously done wet racing before.
Yeah.
You have, but you two, Steve and Tristan, haven't, have you?
No.
At all. Yeah.
No, we haven't. So that was, an interesting experience. Once again, as we've touched on, I spoke to Troy, and actually his dad Dean was there, which was pretty cool. And they were helping out and giving some advice and trying to help calm the nerves. I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew that we're going out against something that was quite obvious was who had grown up doing flat track. They didn't care. Yeah, they did not care about the back floating around, and so I just tried to stick with them and did my best to keep up with them. Which didn't work out exactly that well.
Mate, I was obviously in the commentary box for the weekend up there doing commentary with Scotty. You were flying though before that happened. It seems like you'd sort of started to find your feet a little bit in the wet.
Yeah, it felt good.
You got back onto the back of the group again, sort of thing, when you did come down.
Yeah, it was. I managed to stay in third for the first race in the wet, and then sort of lost a bit of confidence on the third last lap, and then had a bit of a chat to myself and pulled it all back together, and I was closed up to about a metre behind Cameron Swain in second. coming in turn 6. Like whether or not I would have got in front of him, I don't know because he's a very handy rider. But closed it right up, and I was fanging for a second place, and then I just got on the gas touch too early coming out of 6, and it's amazing how quick it falls over in the wet when you make a mistake. Yeah, but I picked it up and finished the race 6, so that was all good, and crossed the line without a foot peg and bar bent down, so that was good fun.
Mate, we could hear it actually from up there.
Really?
Yeah, because it's quite because when it rained, like everyone probably knows it here, but it got really cold. Like it was raining, and for some, like it just got like midwinter Morgan Park, like where it's right here.
Yes.
So there's no one up around up there. So there's no one. We were standing on the edge of the box doing the commentary, and I said to Scotty, "Someone's gone to, like," because I could hear it.
Yeah.
And like that's a fair distance from commentary to
long way
between
to
6 and
6.
7. And sure enough, it was yourself. But it's a weird feeling up there when you're watching that in the wet when there's no one else sort of around.
Yeah.
So,
I know you're interviewing us, but you had a first on the weekend, didn't you?
Yeah.
How was big shoes to fill, hanging with the man, the myth, the legend, Scotty McKellar?
It was it's easier to think about it than it is to do it.
Yeah.
So obviously the club approached me to go up and do some commentary with Scotty. Sat up there for the weekend with Scott, and thank goodness he was there like the whole time, to be honest, because I thought, okay, this will be all right. I've watched him a few times last year sitting in with him. Okay. And what's easy about commentary is the literal stuff where you've got, Troy Guenther's coming into turn 4, leading the pack away. But what Scotty does so well is, as they fire out of turn 7 down to the faster part of the circuit, he adds the story for people to listen. Yeah. And that was really interesting. So when I called my first race, it was like A, B, and C goes across the line. There was no story in it. But Scotty has this, and he sat there and he goes, "Mate, I did my first commentary in 82. So don't think you're doing really bad." Because it wasn't good. But he was awesome to work with, and it was very difficult.
But
fun.
Yeah, well, I heard some of your commentary, and I thought you did a great job, mate.
Thanks, mate.
And it's cool. Just Scotty, he's a cool character. He's part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He is part of the club. He is.
Oh man.
He is the. He's such a character.
For sure, and the things that you get when the microphone's off is just as good. It's just as good. But no, genuinely, can't thank the club enough for the opportunity for one thing, and then Scotty to sit there with him was super impressive, and he's a genuine master.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So it was cool.
Yeah. Love you, Scotty.
That's enough of me, mate. This is about you lads. Now, you obviously crashed. You had a good weekend apart from that, though, for yourself?
I had a blast. It was my birthday weekend, and it was really cool. Everyone made it a very special weekend. That I couldn't. I kept getting asked by people who don't race. They're like, what are you doing for your birthday? And I was like, racing. And they're like, yeah, but what are you doing for, that is what I want to do. I couldn't have imagined a better place to be. I had a ton of fun. I learned a lot. Troy and the juniors commandeered the microphone during Riders Brief and sung "Happy Birthday" to us, which was pretty funny.
I've never seen him so embarrassed.
I don't often blush red, but
it was quite a performance.
But it was a ton of fun. The weekend was good. We had a lot of challenges with, as Steve alluded to before, Dan and I had a motor implode. We're in the lead in the sidecar. This is so we're well out in front, and it was all going really well. Dan was riding brilliantly as always, hard on the throttle, and then we snapped a rod, punched a hole in the block, and we created a bit of a mess of the track. So thanks to everyone for getting stuck in and helping us clean it up. Understand we disrupted the day, but it was great to see everyone band together. There was no cranky pants. Everyone got stuck in. Everyone was smiling. And we did buy a couple of cases of beer for the flaggies and the marshals for the day.
It was actually really cool seeing everyone come together on that. There were probably over 100 people out on the track at one time cleaning it up. So Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, we like to give them a hard time about it. But,
yeah.
But that's the core of a good club, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you see that happening, that's like the actual essence of the club, and that it was pretty impressive to actually be part of.
Yeah, and like if people weren't sweeping, they were running around offering water and trading out. Like Bev Archard was out there just sweeping away, and like, oh man, it was cool. That was actually, as bad as it was, really cool to see everyone get stuck in, and we're truly appreciative. And yeah, so that was the end of our sidecar weekend.
There's probably more Insta stories about the sweep than what there was of racing over the weekend.
Yeah,
because everyone did just embrace it. I think that was the thing.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We
I
did.
think that was part of it. But
Yeah.
I think we got that record for at least part of a track with Leah driving. I was in the back with a couple of the young fellas and we're handing out some water here and there. And yeah, I tell you, Leah could probably make a pretty good racer with some of those lines she was taking. And yeah, I would have loved to have a stopwatch on that sector too, because man, like that drive out of turn 6 was pretty good.
That's funny you say that, because I said to her on Sunday morning, I said, because you got the territory, hey, the grey territory. I think.
Oh, look, I can't even remember what car it is. All I remember is nearly falling out the back of it because she accelerated
she
really
was
fast.
flying.
Yeah.
She was flying. I'm like, far out, that's pretty fast. Like that Commodore they've got for the Morgan Park thing.
Yep.
I'm like, nah, this territory's going to be heaps faster.
Yeah, you got to
But,
get that.
It was good.
Yeah.
How was your weekend, Troy?
Oh, I had a blast. Like, I was such a good weekend from Thursday through to Sunday. Like, I think just one thing that stood out to me was just the community there at the track. And I guess with that, like, I got the chance to spend a bit of time with some of the younger riders in the 300 class, and we had a lot of fun. Like, it was from singing happy birthday to Tristan to hanging out at the RSL after racing to just having a good time in the stands and then battling hard out on track.
Yep.
It was a great time, and to see everyone smiling and, go out on track and, like, we'll race each other pretty hard and then come back and still be mates in the pits. I think such a good atmosphere and so fun to be involved with. And, for me personally, we managed to take a pretty decent step forwards, and that was like a big thanks to a lot of people sort of helping out with the program, like Chris Jones. He revalved the suspension, triple X-rated race suspension between the first and second round. Massive improvement. Yeah,
Wow.
he felt so good. It's turning unbelievably well. And then even some friends of mine, like I'd like to shout out to a mate, Lachlan Sens. He's spent a lot of time with me, like both at and away from the track, helping me prepare because my mechanical knowledge is quite limited at times, and having him around's been a massive help to ensure that I get out on track. And Tristan as well over the weekends, like I've asked him the same question, not twice, but probably 3 or 4 times. Probably multiple questions actually have been asked that many times. But he's very patient with me in those questions, and it's helping me learn so much, I guess, from what it takes not just on the track but off the track to prepare a bike and have it ready to go racing.
Yeah.
Hey, your bike looks schmick. That's the first time I've seen it in real life. The program that's obviously been put together.
Yeah.
The bike looked unreal. Genuinely, like it's awesome, isn't it?
It is.
You know?
It really is. It looks great.
Yeah.
He's being quite modest. Troy left out that first season on these little bikes, and he's been off bikes for four years. He came second. He's up to speed. He's doing well.
And it's a pretty solid grid too, isn't it?
Oh, it's good. It's packed. Like you've got, Tristan was on pole the second day. Like Tristan's right up there. And you've got like young Glenn. He like wet or dry, he was fast.
Yeah, he stood out.
He looked great.
He's this whole season. He's riding really well. He's a class act on a bike. He's doing really well.
It's obviously the time that we're living in, restrictions to travel and that. It'd be nice to pep it up against a few other people from different states at the moment, because the pace that sort of seems to be up here is unreal. It'd be good to see.
Yeah. We do have a bit of an advantage at the moment, though, that we can ride
100%.
when everyone else can't, which I do feel for them. But, very lucky to live where we do and have the club that we do that lets us keep racing. And hopefully we have a step up on them next year when we can race against them.
Well, next year will be you. You'll be away from us, mate, so you'll be on an island.
Yeah, moving to New South Wales. Yeah. Thanks, mate.
What an island.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it'll be nice to see the family when I move home. I know Mum's missing us, but I very much am gonna
You'll be here.
miss living up here. Yeah.
You'll be racing.
I will be racing. We got some things in the works, so we'll figure it out.
Awesome.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
You've touched on your racing, Steve, obviously through the weekend.
Yeah.
How was the rest of it?
Yeah, yeah, man, it was really good. I mean, any time at the track is just it's happy time, right? And then the 2 days leading up to racing, we do the coaching and track days for practice and stuff. I've started working with Dave Fuller in this ART program to
Is that advanced rider training?
Advanced rider training. Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry. And yeah, so I'm working on completing my coaching ticket with Motorcycle Queensland. It is a very arduous process. It takes a long time, but we're working on it. And it's, man, I get a lot out of it. Like it is so much fun to see, like to work with, especially some of the younger kids, and see the changes that they can make very quickly. We worked with a young guy. His name's Lachlan Lowe, and his dad Alex, and they were out for their first weekend. They did the first race free deal.
Yeah,
Sporties.
cool.
Yeah,
Good to hear.
And yeah, he went. We brought his times down almost 12 seconds over the course of about a week. We've been working together, and it's just doing simple drills. Let's focus on one section of the track, one corner, like follow me in. This is your target speed kind of thing, and gradually building that comfort level up. And
we're gonna have to flash up that photo you sent us of his body position.
Oh,
Kid's
man.
got style.
He's
man.
got style, man.
It is cool.
Yeah.
12 seconds.
He's got a photo coming out of turn 12, and
That's cool,
he
yeah.
just looks like
He's going fast.
he's going fast.
yeah,
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was also the one that made
start.
the historic
Yeah.
start. Yes.
That was classic.
What happened?
Oh man. So he first race, yeah, and just handful of throttle and just let the clutch go. And I swear you could read his number plate on the nose of his bike from behind.
What, that weekend?
Yeah.
And he didn't like the bike goes. It goes
Yeah.
a bit beyond vertical.
Yeah.
It goes back,
Back.
and then he must slam the rear, and it just power. He doesn't crash.
Yeah.
But it's past vertical. Like,
Yeah.
Then his wrists are in pieces.
There's video of it out there. You can see both of his feet are off the bike. And
Oh,
you're
he's
like,
gone.
Oh yeah.
yeah, I don't understand how it.
How he got a hold of it.
Yeah, but cool.
But he did, and he was able to shake it off. And of course, he lost a ton of positions, but he made up. I think he made 7 passes that race.
Yeah.
Wow.
And brought back up. So like he did very well. Yeah.
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 Yeah, very cool. Yeah, the work you've been doing with that the ART team. I know Troy's been getting out there for those days as well and
Yeah.
getting a lot out of it.
Hey, would you do your coaching ticket? Or do you? I might be wrong. Have you already got your coaching ticket or not?
That's a really good question. I've been thinking about that a lot because similar to what Steve said, I guess those ART days, especially now that I've sort of come back, like I've really opened my eyes, I guess, getting the chance to ride and help out some of these young, fast kids where I can. It's so fulfilling, and just the fun you have and getting to share that out on a track. It's something I'm really looking into, towards the end of the year, maybe next year. Definitely something I'd be excited at the prospect of doing.
Because hanging around the pits as well, you've already got the bond. You've already got a relationship with people. They already respect you amongst what you've already previously done. I think it'd be good for you to have that ticket as well. But seeing you up there that weekend, I'm like, man, you've got respect amongst that group of people already, heavily. So it'd be good to have, I reckon. Hey.
Look, I'd love to be able to do something like that, and if I'm certainly going to look into it towards the end of the year just to get the credentials and all of that. I'm still a little bit. There's a bit of information I probably need to learn on what's actually required to be able to do that. But from a point I guess legally and with all the licensing and whatnot. But I guess from a helping people out of a track standpoint, from having whether it's on track and then sort of stuff you can do off the track to help with that as well. I'd really love to be able to share what I've been fortunate enough to learn with other people, and to be able to see them improve from that.
Awesome. Dave's a master, eh?
Oh yeah, he's such a nice guy. Yeah.
Can I have a bit of backstory on you, Steve? How'd you get into obviously racing bikes?
Yeah, so I started riding motorbikes a little bit later in life. I was 20 years old, I think, when I got my first bike.
Yeah.
And street bike, so I don't really have a dirt bike background like a lot of the guys do. And I never did any racing, or I didn't do any track days over in the U.S. Before I moved here. I moved here in early 18 and started riding on the road again. And I had a friend of mine invite me out to come to Morgan Park for CSS, actually, for California Superbike School.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd ever been on racetrack, and I just immediately fell in love with it. And it over the course of about 3.5 years now it's been, and I am
Rapid progression.
I went full stick, and I don't have a street bike anymore, and it's just a race bike in a van, and I try to get out. At least 3 weekends a month if I can.
Wow.
Yeah.
Van life.
Yeah.
Van life.
Van life, baby.
Yeah. So
3 weekends a month. That's good.
if we can do that, well, you figure, like I'm not riding on the road and stuff, so I do a lot of mountain biking to stay fit. It's a good cross trainer, and it has progressed well, and I've had my fair share of learning experiences, as we do, but it's okay. And it's to me it's something that it's unlike most other experiences where it requires 100% commitment from your body and your mind. Like, everything has to be working together. There's no room for distraction or background. It's total focus, and it is, to me, that's something that I work really well with. I enjoy it quite a bit. Yeah.
It's one of those times when everything, like, it's a cliche, but everything else just sort of does go away, doesn't it?
Yeah, it totally does. Yeah. I get nervous. I still get nervous. Lining up on the starting grid. But as soon as you see those red lights come on, it just everything kind of melts off. Like, it's like something changes. Yeah, and then it's just focus.
It's the best, eh?
It's the
generally,
best.
even just talking about it, like, it's just the.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah, you just visualize it, and it is. It's genuinely it's hard to beat.
It really is. Yeah, you hear all the bikes around you, just like everyone just chomping, waiting to go, and that first corner rush is just that's crazy bananas.
So good.
It's like the lights on, the oxygen just pulls out of everything. Zip sealed.
Go.
And just go. Breathe.
Yeah.
Mate,
Try to. Yeah, I would.
described that well.
It would be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see how many times you inhale, exhale between the starting grid and the first corner.
Oh yeah, 0.
I bet it's none. Yeah.
I'm under the bridge.
Yeah, nice.
But it is. You described that real well, and
thanks.
that's it's hard to beat.
It really is.
Yeah, genuinely. Oh,
It was a massive turnout at the last round as well. What's the word? Club Racer, which is as we've discussed before, the entry level racing.
That's kind of like the open class almost.
Yeah. They had a lot of first timers in there, so loved seeing that. Even with the borders closed, we had 160 something entries, which is big. It's good to see the sport growing in Queensland and getting a lot of entries coming in. I know we have some exciting new talent coming to race at the next round. So we've got, I know Kiara Vest is doing her first race. Mm-hmm. She's going to come join Troy and I in the pit. She's been doing some track days and getting a lot quicker. And she'll be won't be club racer because she's on a 300, but she'll be joining Judith Burton, who will also be in that class. So it's good to see couple of people, one on a Nini 300 and one on a R3, getting stuck into it, and
That's the production clubbing class.
yeah, production
Yep.
clubbing,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, you don't the club races for 600s and above, and if you're on little bikes, you can go into production clubman. So that's exciting. It's good to see people getting into the sport. Keen to hear how those two go. If we do a podcast again between this and the enduro, definitely get one of those two on. Exciting. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Club racer, like sitting there and doing the commentary and that for it. The good thing is too for people that are listening, you don't need to be on an R1 or 1000
No.
or anything. Like second and jostling for first and second was an R6, 2003 model R6. So it's not like you need to be on. So for people that are trying to get into it, you don't need to be on a 2020 R1 or whatever. You know, you can literally get into it on anything and be within those times. I think it was about a 25 was the dry time. I think was the fastest.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
fastest. And
That was the fastest.
That scopes all the way out. That's a question we frequently
to
get.
a 40 something.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. We frequently get asked, what times do I need to do? And we have covered this, but it's not about times.
No.
It's about the reason with the first race free deal that they get you to do a track day or a coaching day with advanced rider training prior is just to make sure that you're confident on track, being around other people,
Yep.
that you're consistent with your lines, and that you're going to have a good time as much as be safe.
And yes, you're safe. Yes.
Yeah. So get out there, get into it. It's good
Yeah,
to see
man.
so many people getting stuck in and
It was
sharing
solid.
the passion.
Solid grid, club racer. It was unreal. Yeah.
Close to 30.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you don't need to have like the newest R1 to go do it, and that's true. I've just you expand on that, even up to the clubbing classes, and even like I would even argue within Formula 2. Like I ride a 12-year-old bike in Formula 2, and
Yep.
like we're pretty competitive on it. We do all right. I mean, we're not running with the ASPA guys like Mitch Kuhn and Johnny Lytris are always gonna disappear. But we do all right. You don't need to have the best thing out there. So
Definitely. And I think that's not the intimidating part, but certain people get tucked away from the sport because they think, I need to have the latest and greatest thing. It's not the case.
No.
You know?
no,
really not.
honestly, at our skill levels, it's mostly the rider.
Yeah.
More than the machine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like Scott Schultz, who has been on this program
Oh, yeah.
previously. Whoa, did he step up?
Yeah,
he was,
Oh,
he
man.
was flying.
He was good.
Yeah.
And no
Yeah.
offense to your bike, Scott, but that definitely isn't the latest and greatest
No.
bike. But he was riding the wheels off it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was so close to getting first in two of the races.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah.
little mistakes. Like he ran off at turn one of them.
Yep.
Yeah,
Not far, but just a little bit enough to
Yeah.
miss out. But he was going so well. It was unreal.
Yeah.
His speed through 11:12, where I was going bonkers, standing on the stands down there,
Yeah.
screaming for him, going nuts. And his first, it was Glenn Nelson. Second was Liam Van Boomer at the time, who was riding so well. Congrats to Liam. I think he skipped the last round. He came back and he's a bunch faster, riding super consistently.
Yeah.
Scott was quicker than them both through 11:12, and he'd catch on him and then pull away a little bit, and then he'd work harder. And it was good to watch. He's come a long way in a short amount of
And
time.
those two guys were hauling
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
like all weekend. Like
Yeah.
that was pretty impressive. And that's his second race.
Yep.
Meeting,
Yeah.
not second race meeting.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good to see.
Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool.
I believe he had in the race where he finally went out. I think he was fastest on the track that race. I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Was he?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Cut the fastest lap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the next round, which is coming up in October.
Keen.
Keen sidecars, obviously, come and try day.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big round for sidecars. We've got the come and try day, as you just said. So October the 9th, the Saturday, on completion of racing, it's $30 to come and try sidecars. There's going to be a good turnout from with a bunch of different outfits or sidecars. That $30 isn't going to us, by the way. That's going to the flaggies and the marshals. They put them together, and the money goes towards them, and to say thank you for the year. But we want to give people a chance to experience the fun that is sidecars. I love it. I've gone on about this so much. I get a grin every time I talk about them, but the adrenaline's out of control. I love it. We won't be going in crazy on the come try day. It's if you bring along your leathers, if you have leathers, we'll bring as much as we can to try accommodate those who don't have them. But bring your helmet, gloves, and the riders will take you around as many times as we can within the time allotted to us on completion of racing, and show you what it's about. It's a great sport, it's a great community, and hopefully we put on a really good show come Saturday, Sunday for the championship as well. So hopefully that gets everyone keen, because Matty Abel and Darren are only 7 points behind Dan and I for the Queensland Championships, and they come to the party. Yep. They definitely come to the party. They love a good battle. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Then what else we got going on? I just wanted to mention the Turners' last round, apart from my birthday, was Father's Day, and Neil Turner was riding the LCR, and there's 5 Turners out there on the sidecar field that day. So there was Neil and Danyon, Jamie and Corey, and then Shelby swung for Phil Underwood.
Who's an adopted Turner, I found out. That's what Scotty said.
yeah.
Because you just need to have another one.
Yeah. Just need one more. Yeah. So
that's impressive, isn't it? Full family field.
Yeah, 100%. They took up half the grid. Yeah, and they're all serial pests. No, they're good people. They are. But yeah, that was quick. It's good to see Neil have such a good Father's Day and have such a good time with his family. It's something pretty special.
Man, it really was. Sitting there watching it, I'm like, that must feel pretty cool for him. You know, obviously he's a good pilot himself in it.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of history, but yeah, it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I think he and his brother used to have an outfit together. Like, I forget who rode and who swung, but it's fully a family tradition. Yep. It's cool to see. Very cool to see.
And you mentioned something too. Shelby's about to do that. I think she starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
The journey. That's pretty cool. So if anyone's keeping up, have a look at Shelby Turner on Facebook, Instagram and stuff. Pretty cool to see what she's doing, obviously, through the all-female Simpson Desert Track.
Yeah.
Crossing.
Raising money for charity.
Yep.
By crossing the Simpson Desert on dirt bike with her crew. Very cool. Well done, Shelbs.
For sure.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing to prepare for the next round in October?
Playing Fortnite with the juniors.
Oh, man.
Swano's giving me a good run for my money on MotoGP 20, but we've been the club pilot program's had Jason Whitehead's been very generous, and he's come on board and supported all of us, I believe. But then I guess I could talk specifically first about VR3. He's sort of jumped on board as a club pilot sponsor for that bike, and he's done a lightweight rear rotor.
What's the name of his business?
Race DNA. Yeah. Oh.
Hear that again? Race DNA.
Yeah. I feel like you can leave us someone down, sit down. I'll do the race DNA. No, it's sick. I don't know all the physics formulas as such, but I know it saves a bucket load of unsprung mass on the rear wheel, and I've had the chance to test it out, and it worked amazing.
Yep.
He's also supplied a Race DNA exhaust and a lot of other bits and pieces that are pretty trick. And I think he's done it for VR3, but you guys can sort of detail what he's done for your bikes. But it's rear brake reservoir delete kits, levers, lever guards, you name it. If it's trick, it's probably done by Race DNA.
Yeah, and like so many of the the great sponsors that have come aboard for the club pilot program, they're local. He's local, just like Ali Tech and a bunch of the others. Queensland-based Paletta Imports. We're really lucky to have such a great crew, and it's awesome to have Jason on board because he's got a strong racing background.
Yep.
He was a very strong racer himself before an unfortunate incident, and now he's building some really cool race parts and getting some mad power out of the bikes, which we love. It's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to see a locally built, especially with exhaust. Like it's not something that you see done very often because it requires some R&D and some you need to know what you're doing, right? And so for myself, actually a funny story, I got dinged for my motorcycle being too loud. And it was admittedly quite obnoxious. I had a very short eBay can on it because that's what I could get a hold of at the time, and I got told that I needed to take care of it because it was too loud. So I got a hold of Jason, and after a long conversation, I went over to his place, and we fitted up a muffler. Bike runs really well, sounds nice. But while we were there, we got to talking some more, and he ended up fitting up a set of rear sets that he had prototyped for the R6, and he wasn't sure that he was going to be able to market them because he had said he was worried because he had prototyped them for the 2020 bike, and since Yamaha stopped selling them and importing them into Australia as of next year, but as we found out, like, they are the same. So from a 2008 to a 2021 R6, the rear sets fit. They are the same size and same fitment. So we put a set on the bike, and if you want to come see them, come check them out. They are really, really well made. They're very lightweight, lots of adjustment. The pegs have some of the best knurling that I've experienced. Like they're not too grippy, so you can still move your boot around a bit without actually picking your foot up. It's nice. And then the other thing that we're working on is an exhaust system. So you guys both for the small bikes have got his system on there already, but he has a new header design that's coming for the R6, and we're gonna get it on the bike and get it tuned on the dyno down at Cube Performance and see what kind of improvements we can get. So.
Awesome. And you guys have had yours on the dyno already, hey?
Yeah.
Well, today?
I was actually
right?
down. Yeah, Ben and the team at Cube Performance Center we got a chance to run it on a dyno down there, and there's definitely can see there's a lot more mid-range with this race DNA system now. So I'm really excited to see how that translates to on-track performance. I think, it was quite exciting. I think especially for a tighter track like Morgan Park, where you sort of on the R3 like about 10 to 11,000 RPM range. I think there was some pretty good gains there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the.
Yeah, me
hopefully,
too.
Hopefully,
not too much.
Tristan will be like, I'll put air in your tyres. Do you want 42 pound on Sunday?
So something that I was behind Troy. I came third in the first race, and Troy came second. And man, blowing smoke up your coit, but I couldn't find the correct words there. But you are flawless, man. Like, so I was waiting. I'd caught up. I kept making little mistakes that would drop me back about a couple of bike lengths. Mainly turn 7. Glenn and Troy would just pull away a little bit.
You're so quick out of there.
And I'd chase, and I'd catch him back up. There's a couple of spots where I was a bit quicker, especially because he was battling with Glenn, so they would hold each other up. And I was just waiting for this mistake to happen for lap after lap, and it never came. And so I'm not sure if you need any more speed, but it was pretty cool to watch. It was a class act between those two, sitting behind. I don't think I was too far behind crossing the line, but I was still a ways off. Got you the next one though. So
Why are you fast there? Why are you fast out of turn 7?
Look, I think, in all seriousness, I think the dirt track background helps a lot, being a left-hand turn.
For sure, yep.
I've always felt quite comfortable on the lefts, and I've always liked 90-degree corners, so I guess when you get turn 7, it kind of brings both of those elements together. And it's just one of those corners that I'll just go through there smiling every lap. So I don't know, maybe I can try to smile a bit more in the other corners. But
that's good.
No, I just drop a gear and it just Chris has
good.
got the bike on rails, and it feels, I think it's a corner that suits the way the bike's set up and suits the way I ride.
Because it's a very tricky corner.
It is.
It's a very, very tricky corner. And to say someone's really good at one particular one, it's kind of an interesting one to say, under the bridge, okay, this is where I make up time. But Yeah, obviously that's a big one to make up time because you're coming into one of the faster parts. So.
Yeah, it's especially on the smaller bikes, it's a huge deal there. I think it's it's the most important corner on the track.
Yep.
And it's one of the more difficult ones, in my opinion, to get right.
For sure.
Yep. Yeah. You hear people, people's bugbear, can't do 7, can't do 7, can't do 7.
Yeah. Because it's bump. Even with the resurface, there's enough of a bump there that if you force yourself to trail brake in deep, it's very, very challenging to hold an accurate line as you're trailing off the brakes.
It's a very strange corner.
Yep.
It is, but it's so important though. Obviously, have that run down the back, especially on the littler bikes. Obviously, momentum is everything, isn't it?
Yeah, remember Johnny Littress like a year ago or something trying to explain it to me, and of course he's just this missile of a human on a motorbike, and he's like, "No, mate, you just got to like come through and like use the outside, just use it as a berm, just like bounce off it and like fly through, and yeah, you should be sweet." No worries. I'll just try and make it through. Thanks, mate.
The beauty of turn 7 is you can actually use that curb there. Like, you don't want to go up too high because it drops off. But, like, I get what he says. There is a bit of a berm, and it feels sick when you hit it right because it's just like Fabio style over the side, landed down, you know.
These are crazy.
Well, it probably doesn't look like Fabio, but at least you feel like
if you unzip your leathers, you'll be sweet.
Just have your heart rate monitor out.
Fabio, most beautiful man in the cosmos.
It does feel very fun. You can I know you guys probably don't experience it too much on the 400s, but you get a little bit of wheel spin as you hit that curve, and it's
excuse me.
Now he's got race DNA.
No, I've never seen like credit to Tristan. Like you don't have much of a dirt track background, but like from what I understand, but he slides a bike pretty well. Like there was one lap I was following him like out of turn 6. I'm like, far out. He's got such a good run. Something's got to give, surely. Like, I was getting like, how am I going to match this? And then he just like crossed it up, and I think he's held it on pretty well. And I was like, it was good fun to watch.
But did you die? No, we held it. It was good. Yeah, that was fun. Thanks, man. Yeah, it was
it was awesome. Wish I needed like an onboard camera, maybe.
Trying to find that. Like, you can light them up, but when you're on that very edge of the tyre, it's just that's where, difficult. Yeah,
it's cool that you guys have got such a bond out there. Like to be able to just joke around and a similar pace as well.
Yeah.
To be able to see that stuff actually happening, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. We get a good train going in that
for sure.
Prodi 400 class. It's good.
We've got a pretty good tight group in F2 as well. You know, Mark Ford. Kevin Arthur and Laki Swarde and a couple other guys, we are all usually within a couple seconds of each other, kind of like whoever's faster on the day kind of thing. Except for maybe Laki, because he's dipped down into the 19s now, and we're having a hard time keeping up with him. But
come back,
wait for me. But it is a really cool. It's a really cool crowd. We fiercely competitive on the track. Most of us are not afraid to dive bomb somebody if it's if someone leaves the door open. But we're all best mates.
It's cool.
It's really really fun.
That's something that like we talk about. How good racing is, and we love people go, it's a whole weekend away. You are hanging out with your best mates.
Oh yeah,
like the whole weekend.
It's definite common interest.
Oh, it's so cool.
It's what you're locked into.
It's the whole weekend experience, isn't it? And like, I mean, I've spoken a lot like with juniors, particularly on this podcast, but like it's not just that. Like you see, like the mates you form, like it's just like riding a bike is awesome fun. Racing is awesome fun, but I think it's just that whole like weekend environment. Like going out to like even having a camp out with your birthday, like that was just sick. Like the whole experience, like off the track, is really what makes that on track moments, I guess, even more special.
Definitely.
And it's just every class it's got like that group of people where you can just go out and have that sort of community and come in, smile and have a bit of banter. Like even with it was funny because there's Smarty and Sean also were having dinner the other night, and there was a bit of a banter going on about potentially a rivalry at round 4 that might be brewing. And there were certain moves up the inside. They both claim they're going to do a move, I believe, into turn 4. Sean might be getting a bike built to race Smarty, but it's going to be good. And the banter and the trash talk is just so funny, and it's just I don't know, just having that sort of mates where you can go out and have that race and talk about sort of crap, but still, be mates and have a good time afterwards.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best. Everyone just smiles the whole weekend. It's
Yeah.
sick. Yeah.
Even cleaning up oil, I was smiling that whole time. I was going to leave it till late in the podcast.
Yeah, I had to clean up Tristan's mess. Yes.
Credit to him half a day.
Clean up aisle 3. Yeah.
No, but you guys were like the first people to volunteer to go out and clean up after that. So
That
it's
was-
like,
yeah, we pushed the sidecar.
Like-
And Dan was going through scrutineering. I heard the announcement. I sprinted over. This core memory that I will take to me with the grave was the red van. They were piling people into the back, like just cramming them in with brooms.
Not
and-
his van.
So yeah. And I was sitting in the front, and like we're all going out there. And so Dan, whose sidecar outfit it is, like he's a lot quieter than me, and he chills out down the back, and doesn't love the limelight quite so much, and he's chilling out down there, and this van was just packed with people crammed in the back, all like sardines. And they're like, "Oh, Tristan, you spilled oil." And I looked back, and Dan was crouched in amongst them, and they had no idea he was there. And he was hiding, and he had this cheeky grin on his face. And they're like, "That's the guy." They all turned and looked at him. Dubbed him in.
Everyone did get out for that. Even my girlfriend Renee, she listens to this ever.
Glad you remembered her name then.
Yeah, it's really important. You do not want to forget that. Yeah, I think she jumped in that van straight off away. Yeah,
That's cool.
how about Devo? He looked like a juggernaut. Like he had the leaf blower on the back. He was on a mission. He had to walk. What a trooper. He was on a mission.
Sorry.
Good on you, Dave.
Yeah. It was extensive. It went from turn 6 to the end of the straight. Like it was a solid.
I think it was a little bit further than that.
Yeah.
What was it we were saying earlier about the line selection and how they would be a perfect representation for ART days? Whoever Sawdust line was, like, credit, you guys were on a good line. Like,
That's what Devo was doing. He
Yeah.
sprayed it into the track. So that's what we're going to follow.
So that was the fun part. The race directly after that was the first F2 race of the weekend.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for taking one for the team.
Yeah, and so of course you're right on the racing line through turn 9. Anyone that knows 8 and 9, that is bloody fast.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing all the sawdust come up off the bike's tires in front of me, and it's like,
Yeah.
just don't think about it. Just
At least karma came around when I crashed on my own oil line in the final race. So fair play.
And
Yeah.
what exciting stuff's happening in the club for the rest of the year? Any other events?
Yes.
Obviously a race meeting.
Yes.
Big race meeting. What else?
The fitness will come into play finally. The endurance event in November. So I suppose we can drop it now, Troy.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's hot.
Teammates.
It is.
Yeah.
No, we're going to give it a good crack. I think it'll be good.
So you're allowed. Okay, so when they did the endurance race the other year, when I did it, you weren't allowed to choose your teammate. You're allowed to. It was done on an aggregate time. So say if you were a Formula 3 bike, you've been teamed up with a Formula 1 of a slower bike or something, whatever it may be. So you're allowed to pick a team for this.
Oh, we were last year, so
That's
we're
cool.
going off the presumption of that. So we
Same
may
here.
have our hopes dashed yet.
That's
It was
awesome.
fate, destiny, just brought us together. And, it's just a perfect story. It was adversity at the last round, Tristan having to change the, it's just going to be like one of those, and hopefully we can just sell it to a good result at the enduro race and just put it in a book, I
Bookend.
don't know. Yeah, just make the story like the perfect way to close.
Yeah, I'd like that.
So do we know any details of amount of time, like hour, 10 hour, 12 hours?
No, we don't know that
Don't know
yet.
that? Yep.
But we do know that it's a 2-day event. So
Cool.
Qualifying and practice will be on the Saturday, and then the racing on the Sunday.
Yep.
If it's anything like last year in terms of classes, there'll be a small bike and a big bike. So big bike being 600s,
600s and up,
so F1, F2 sort of bikes.
Yep.
And then small bikes being up to 400.
I think they actually drew the line at Super Twins, right? I
think
So we can at least go off of what the last event was like earlier this year.
Yeah.
So when you say they drew the line at Super Twins, was a Super Twin allowed to compete or not?
Yeah, it
They were?
was.
Okay,
Yeah, so I'm sorry, my mistake. So Super Twins went into the big bike class.
Okay.
From those bikes and
Just got that-
faster. Yeah.
and
Got
400
that brain of
was the
mine
limit.
ticking at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little conversation yesterday, but yeah, that's going to be exciting then, hey?
Yeah, Mick's
Very,
coming
yeah.
back racing. You've heard it here first.
If Steve keeps doing those like pep talks, like seriously, I reckon. Listen
so
to you
fun.
guys talk about it. Yeah, I miss it so much. Genuinely, it's unreal. You know.
I saw some Facebook memories pop up
Yeah.
of you winning some races.
Yeah.
Against some
okay.
some
fun.
quality competition.
Yeah.
So return is imminent.
Nah.
Just
So-
for the enduro. Good.
I'd like to do enduro,
Good to
though.
hear. Well, I'm leaving, so that's my leaving request. You come race the enduro.
Nice. It's got all soft all of a sudden. But no, genuinely, I would. Yeah, I'd like to. It'd be good.
Yeah, cool.
It'd be good fun.
Yeah, right.
But,
They're great
we'll see.
events.
Yeah.
And just this is something I want to clarify. A lot of people are uncertain about endurance events, saying I'm not fit enough, I'm not used to it. Take more stops. It's a team
Yeah,
event.
exactly.
There's 2 bikes.
Yeah.
If you're worried about not being able to run distance, think of it as a track day. Take multiple stops. It's a very fun event. There's some great support.
Yeah.
You got to use tactics. It's fun.
Yeah,
You
it's
get to
not
think
just-
about
it's
it.
not just a
Yeah.
sprint.
There's more to think about. It changes things up, like a Howden lap board, the
Yeah.
number of whiteboards, because most people don't own
Don't have
whiteboards
whiteboards.
with
Yeah.
really poorly drawn numbers or tape.
Mr. Squiggle.
Yeah, Mr. Squiggle. Oh, man.
I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Yeah. What is that? Or just thumbs up. You know, good.
That's an astronaut.
To space. But it's a great event. It's the tactics of it and trying to plan it out, and also I really loved at the endurance event. For some reason, everyone brings their A grade with lunches. Like I found there's heaps more snacks available. Vera, my godmother, brought her A game. There was some wicked snacks getting around. There's cheese boards and everything. I just like the whole day. Now I'm getting excited now.
Oh, they're fun. It's just like the feeling of, I guess, accomplishment as well, finishing like an endurance race. Like, it's just like you say, it's like, yeah, of course, there'll be people there that go in, like, I want to win this. But the actual, like, you can take as many stops as you need to, and getting through the event with your teammate and the crew, like, it's just something it's pretty cool. Like, I had a chance to do it even last year, like, absolutely last minute with young Travis Hall. And speaking of the food and the diet being on the A game, we had young Josh. Like, he was measuring out my electrolytes and all of that meal prep. But it was just like, getting to the end of it. And even
Great feeling.
we're like really competitive. We always want to be doing really well, but still just like finishing. It was such a cool feeling. It was just like, we got through this long race.
Oh yeah. So the
Steve's got something more important to say.
I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
No. It's all good.
I was just gonna add. I was gonna try to build your point. I'm sorry.
No, go for it. He's probably heavy.
You make me
train of thought you've
feel
done it
like
well.
a real jerk, Tristan.
That was so good.
I was. The finishing it was great. It was the first. This one earlier this year was the first time I've done one, and the logistics of planning everything and like making sure that your body is healthy and stuff like that, and figuring out like what kind of pace you can sustain to run was a challenge. And then like I was lucky enough to be the one on the track between the two of us when the checkered flag came out, and like that feeling of elation. Well, first of all, I was like, I'm finally done. I can get off this bike. But also like that was the most like one of the most rewarding feelings. Like it was really fun.
Pace to run. How good is your 100-meter sprint to the bike? Like, is there an intersector trap for that? So you can elaborate.
So tell me this: how did they do it last year?
Le Mans start.
Yeah.
which
So when I
is
say 100-meter run,
Across
yeah.
the track?
just across the track.
Yeah, cool. Yep.
Yeah. So one person holds the bike.
Yep.
The other person runs across. The bike's off.
Yep.
You have to start it and then kick it into gear and go.
Off you go.
And
The guy holding the bike tries not to get kicked.
yeah, it's very funny. It's very watching the carnage of everyone trying. Oh, it's crack up.
And what was the hours last year? What was it?
It was 2 and 2.
2-2, yeah.
But when unsure of what it's going to be this year.
but that was last.
Possibility it may be longer, it may be the same, but just
That's
waiting
cool,
to hear
eh?
from the club. But we'll just see how it goes. See what details come out. But it is such a fun event. And if you got any, if you're looking for a partner, just hit us up. I put a bunch of people in contact with different people last year, and it's just a fun event.
It really is.
That's cool.
And the feed afterwards, like the amount of the appetite you work up from doing an endurance race, like you can go to town for dinner. Like, I mean, we're going to cover all the best elements of endurance racing, and endurance would not be endurance without a good feed afterwards for sure.
Right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds awfully tempting.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Just off topic, just back to what's coming up.
Yes.
Just thinking about how many people have been contacting about doing their first race. Just remember Steve and Sharman, and we're going to have a lot of first-time races at this next event. I'm excited. This is cool, and good on you for giving it a go. That's sick.
Absolutely, and the process is working.
Yeah,
You know the what do they call it? The club. What the club is doing is obviously working because it's bringing more people in to enjoy motorcycling. It's working.
Yeah, 100%.
So-
100%.
I said that really wrong, but that's
Yeah, I get what
No,
you're
you got
saying.
what I meant to say.
Yeah, yeah.
It was good.
The sport is growing. Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what we want. More people racing, better battles,
Yep.
more smiles,
More fun.
more food.
More fun. Yeah.
Oh, more food. Yeah, that too. I mean,
cheese.
I did more fun, but I'll go with more food as
More
well.
cheese boards.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, man. Jeez.
There's pit boards and there is cheese boards.
Well, we got anything else to touch on?
No, there's got to be some really close battles at the end of F1's close. Kevin Pelgrave, a few others.
Yep.
Within 7 points of each other or something. F2, which is Johnny and Mitch Coon.
Yep.
Close.
And
It's going to be some really good battles.
Lucky Swarter's only about 12 points behind as well. Like, he's in third
Cool.
place, yeah.
If you want to come out for a watch, come on out. There's it's always a good time. We all sort of camp out at the Rose City Caravan Park, and there's a barbecue area. We all catch up. So if you want to come out, we all hang out during the day and after. It's just the whole thing is fun.
Yeah.
Get on out. Come check it out.
And Warwick's a beautiful part of the world to go to. So,
It is.
Steve, you got anything else to touch on?
Oh, no, I'm looking forward to round 4. It's going to be great. I can't wait to get back out on track again. Just thinking about the start again, that's such a fun experience. If we can get more people out, more people on the grid, more competition, more fun, he can bring more food.
Yeah.
For yourself, Troy, anything?
Oh, look, I'm just looking forward to, I guess, just seeing everyone having a great time again, like having that community that we had in the pits, and just the whole atmosphere at a track. Like, I really, you wake up Monday morning afterwards and you really miss it, but then you get into each day afterwards is closer to going racing again. So
Gets
just can't wait to
Yeah.
go lights out and have a great time with a great group of people.
Awesome.
I was having motorbike dreams last night. I was dreaming about racing.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. As I get closer, I get so excited.
Sidecar or solo?
Sidecars.
It was?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
Tonight,
But we had a
so-
really weird dream. We were all racing solos. You, Josh, and myself. All our wheels fell off our bikes, and we had to carry our bikes over the line. And it was like, come on.
That lightweight rear disc might help.
Yeah. I'm a child.
Unsprung weight. Unsprung weight doesn't matter too much then, does it?
Oh, I'm just thinking any way you can shave off the bike in that situation might help.
Oh man.
All right.
Excited, keen.
Awesome.
It's almost time. Oh, let's go
Yeah, it's
racing.
2 weeks. 2
Yeah.
weeks, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll leave it there. Thank you, everyone, once again for listening to us. Bit of trash talk, and it's been a bit today. It's a Friday afternoon, but thanks obviously for coming in, everyone, and we'll leave it there.
Looking forward to keeping the oil in the bikes. Sick.
On that note, we're going to leave it right there. Thank you to everyone that's been listening to the Southern Down Showdown, presented by Motorcycle Sportsmen of Queensland. A big thank you must go to Gasoline Alley Harley-Davidson for providing us the studio space to record this show in. And once again, a big thank you to the Motorcycle Sportsmen and all the supporters, volunteers and officials that make racing possible in Queensland.